A major AEW Revolution angle was scrapped last minute. Plus, WWE crowns a double champion at NXT Roadblock, and the Hardys are teasing future WWE plans. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Revolution went off the air with Jon Moxley bulldogging Christian Cage unconscious, and once again leaving with the briefcase apparently containing the AEW World title.
Yes, even though Christian Cage came very close. He almost pinned Cope with one hand while being bulldog choked out. Moxley dragged him away, and the title stays in his hands, in his briefcase.
Within the briefcase. However, according to sources and reports within the Wrestling Observer and Brian Alvarez, this probably wasn't going to be how Revolution was going to go off the air, at least until the 11th hour.
Yeah, Alvarez says, I don't know all of the details, but there was apparently some idea for the main event that involved way more people that ended up being out there, including some returns. Way more people than ended up being out there, including some returns, and at the last minute, it just got axed. I don't know who it was or what they were going to do, but there was a second plan that didn't take place. It was not Shane McMahon, for the love of God. He goes on to say, whatever it was, it involved people that have been there in the past. I'm 99% sure that no matter what was planned before or after, Moxley was always retaining, and he was always going on to face Swerve at the next pay-per-view. So it wouldn't have, Brian Alvarez there is saying it probably wouldn't have changed the result of the match. It's just the way in which Moxley retained might have been changed around.
Now, we know that Wardlow was backstage. He's currently on some other non-wrestling business.
Okay.
But whether or not he might have been factored into some big finish at the end, we don't know. I'm sad that we didn't get something like that, because I've labored this point in several videos. I think we're at a point where this Moxley Death Rider story needs to move on a bit now.
I'm very conflicted. I think AEW have booked themselves into a bit of a lose-lose here. I'm not talking in terms of the momentum of the show or the popularity or the quality of the main event, which a lot of people have reacted negatively to, especially given all the action we saw at the pay-per-view before that match. But I'm conflicted in terms of the booking, because I totally agree with you. I think the Death Riders thing has run its course, kind of. But on the other hand, the point of the story was not to have a veteran primarily associated with WWE win the belt from Moxley. So it should have been someone like Darby or Orange Cassidy or whoever, or Swerve Strickland. So I'm willing to give it one more pay-per-views time. And maybe they'll give it to Swerve. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
You get one more pay-per-view.
Yeah.
What do you think this ending that they binned off would have looked like? Would it just been like new faces joining Death Riders, part of Moxley's gang? And
maybe, because the story obviously in the build was Cope systematically taking out every member of the Death Riders in one way or another. I don't know whether it might have been, some of the names that Moxley mentioned wanting to drag up through cruel treatment, like Daniel Garcia, he's not there, but Darby Allin. I wonder if some assorted baby faces might have run out to try and help Cope and try and end Moxley's title reign. I don't know what sort of form it could have taken, really, but the only thing Alvarez really gives us is that it was not Shane McMahon. Which is a tremendous,
for the love of God, not Shane McMahon.
It's a tremendous shame. I kept waiting for the Young Bucks to turn up on the show because it was in California, but they just never did. I wonder if they might have been involved. I don't know.
Maybe they were factored in. We do not know. We do know that we have a double champ in WWE as of last night. Stephanie Vaquer is now both NXT Women's North American Champion and NXT Women's Champion, beating Julia in the main event of Roadblock at the Theatre Madison Square Garden last night. A trifecta of SBBs led to the 1, 2, 3 on Julia.
This follows obviously reports or rumours that one of the two women in this match is banged up or needs some time off, or maybe dealing with a bit of an injury thing. And that looks very much like it's Julia now. Because the reports didn't name which one it was, but they were the explanation for this match being kind of rushed ahead in the NXT schedule. A lot of people had seen this as a match down the line with these two dominant relative newcomers to the women's division, in like a who's the best sort of epic encounter. They booked it way sooner than anybody thought, and that is apparently the reason one of them needs time off. I would now assume that person is Julia, given that Vaquer now has 2 belts to defend.
Do you think they'll keep both belts on Stephanie, or do we think we'll have maybe one vacated and focus on the other?
I wouldn't mind either way, because obviously the North American title being vacated allows some of the more mid-card women there to try and win a belt. But on the other hand, I do enjoy sometimes when it's used sparingly. I do enjoy a double champion in wrestling.
I do like a double champion as well.
As long as they're like great enough to pull it off. And Stephanie is 100% good enough to pull it off. She's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
She is very, very good. If you want the kind of energy that only comes from being a champ, you want to be thanking our friends at Gamer Subs. GG Energy will be providing long-lasting energy for you at a fraction of the price of canned energy drinks. They come in a litany of great flavors as well, with weird and wonderful names. I mean, I'm quite boring because I've been on the mango one on a morning. It's kind of replaced my coffee, which is quite nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, but they have a flavour on there which I spotted this morning, which is called Grandma's Ashes.
I've not been bold enough to try that one quite yet.
We're building up to it.
Yes.
We're building up to it. There's a whole bunch of weird and wonderful flavours. And as we say, if you're looking for that boost of energy, this is the way to do it in a cheaper, more effective way. You can find out whether it's right for you by going to cultaholic.com/gamersubs. Use the code word Cultaholic for not only a free sample to see whether it's right for thee, and it gives you 10% off your first purchase as well. Cultaholic.com/gamersubs, where you can find GG Energy. Now, energy, that's what you need to run a faction.
Okay.
And we now have a name for this faction in NXT.
It's Sean Spears' faction. Sorry, that's not the name. They're not just
Imagine they just call themselves Sean Spears Faction.
It's Sean Spears' faction who now have an official name. The team consisting of Sean Spears himself, Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and that turncoat Izzy Dame will go under the name The Culling now, as confirmed last night on NXT. WWE even filed to trademark The Culling last week, and this is the group that has been applied to.
Not to be confused with the band who sang Wherever You Will Go, The Calling.
What a tune!
I know, right?
Oh, if they start coming out to that song.
If I could, then I would.
And at one point towards the end of the song, he just does, if I could turn back time. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
All right, chef.
Just, throw someone else's song in there. That's fun. What an epic song that was.
It really is. Sean Spears will warn.
Been wandering. Oh. You've brightened my day with that song.
You are very, very welcome. I'm looking for Sean Spears warning all of his future opponents that he'll go wherever they will go. We now know who the culling is. I thought the culling, we know who the calling is, OBS.
Oh,
we also now know who
100%.
the culling is. I thought the culling would be that other faction of unnamed assailants
Sounds
who
a bit
beat
more-
up Obafemi that time.
Sounds a bit more like a mysterious name, doesn't it? But I guess Sean Spears is doing his creepy manipulator thing. It's a slightly spooky adjacent, but not necessarily. And I think it's absolutely fine. I'm just trying to get the song out of my head now. I can't.
You absolutely cannot. The culling faced the family.
Run away with my heart. He's kind of doing like
must have done another song.
like an even flow thing, isn't he? They did do another song that I remember called, I think, like The Days of Our Lives. These are the days we're giving. Yeah.
Flipping.
Wasn't as good as the first one, but yeah, it was good still.
I challenge you to go and find another wrestling news video that is giving you a bit of banter about the band The Calling this morning.
Wow.
Go far and wide. You won't find one.
I might have to make it my karaoke song, you know.
Oh,
What a
good
tune.
lad.
Yeah.
10 on 10. The Culling face the family on NXT next week, and we have a main roster title defended on NXT next week.
We certainly do. As confirmed on last night's Roadblock show, Chelsea Green will defend her Women's United States Championship against Sol Rucker next week on NXT. This builds on a win that Sol Rucker picked up over Chelsea Green in a tag team match not that long ago. I would imagine Chelsea Green's going to retain, but anything can happen. You never know.
Anything can happen.
If Sol Rucker loses, I imagine it'll be through shenanigans, possibly involving Piper Niven, because she doesn't get beaten that easily in NXT, Sol Rucker, and she's got a hell of a finish.
And now Piper Niven also has Alba Fire with her as well.
Oh yes, of course. She
Chelsea
does.
Green's new cabinet, so maybe we'll see all that come to fruition there on Tuesday. Oh, sorry, Sol Rucker, but we've already written you off.
Chelsea Green just going down the route of hiring Scottish women to protect her, which is fair enough.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if you want anybody on your side in a fight, probably someone from Scotland.
No, yeah, 100%.
I think you need them on the side.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of fights, there was a fight that opened the MSG Roadblock show last night. It was the Hardys successfully retaining their TNA World Tag Team titles against Fraxium. Fraxium picking up a rare L.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed, but not surprised that the Hardys defeated Fraxium here, because only the TNA tag team titles were on the line. And I didn't really think they'd do a big title switch. TNA have been taking enough L's in this partnership already on the mic, with a lot of NXT superstars going, I'm never going to lose to you a TNA wrestler. I'm like, all right, I got a bit offended for them. But,
You leave my boys alone.
but as you say, it's a rare L for Fraxium here, and therefore a win for TNA in the war. Come on.
Matt and Jeff Hardy afterwards said that they'd love another go around with Nathan Frazier and Axiom, maybe this time for the NXT tag team titles.
Now, this is reassuring. I'm a big fan of Fraxium. I think they're a wonderful, wonderful tag team, and I hope that this means they'll be getting their win back over the Hardys. What a landmark win that would be in their careers. Or they'll just lose their belts to the Hardys.
Keep losing to them.
But I hope that it's a win for Fraxium because they do deserve it.
I pitched a little while back it to be Hardys beat Fraxium for the TNA titles, then Fraxium beat the Hardys for the NXT titles. Both belts, ladder match, stand and deliver.
My goodness.
That's what we do.
I would like to
writes
see that
itself.
It would be great.
Are you twitching tonight?
Oh my God, I got caught off guard there. Yes. Myself and Owen are twitching tonight with the Swans, the Fulham Swans, on Football Manager at twitch.tv/Cultaholic, starting at 6 p.m. UK time. Be kind to Owen. Oh, he's editing this video, isn't he? Be kind to Owen because his team got knocked out of the Champions League last night.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Another L for Owen and his boys. But
L for Liverpool. Oh no.
L for
Sorry.
Liverpool. Oh!
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Newcastle United fans rejoicing. And for the very...
Yeah, hang on. I'm a Liverpool fan now this week. What's going on?
What are you playing now? And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can go wherever we will go at cultaholic.com. Stay safe and fly, swans, fly.